6:45. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Danushka Madavala, read by Soundithavam. A task force appointed to review the progress of the Gama Samaga Pilisandara programs. The farmer's identity card and the soil testing report is essential to obtain free fertilizer subsidy in the future. The registration of new political parties will commence from the 28th of this month. The mayor of Jaffna granted bail. The Gazette notification to ban the cutting of coconut trees will be released within the next 2 weeks. Plantation companies have taken steps to pay workers a daily wage of 1,000 rupees approved by the Wage Management Board. In world news, UN atomic watchdog reports new Iranian breach of nuclear deal. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa appointed a presidential task force to effectively guide, pursue and review the realization of objectives and needs of the people that the government seeks to achieve through the Gama Samaga Pilisandara programs. It has been named as a Rural Development Presidential Task Force on Gama Samaga Pilisandara, the President's Media Division said. A 15-member team of state ministers and parliamentarians have been nominated to the task force, chaired by Minister Namal Rajapaksa. State Ministers Nimal Lanza, Dilum Amanugama, Kanchana Vijayasekara, Sita Arabepola, Channa Jasumana, MPs Kada Mastan, Kapila Atukorala, Sanjeeva Edirimana, Nipuna Ranavaka, Chamara Sampath Dasanayaka, Tiran Alas, Gavindu Kumaratunga, Sivanasathurai Chandrakantan, Chintaka Amal Mayadunne and Jayanta Veerasinghe are the other members of the task force. The coordination is being carried out by Ms. Chandima Vikramasinghe, Additional Secretary to the President, providing all the necessary information related to rural development activities in line with the Gama Samaga Pilisandara program. The task force has the primary responsibility to direct all officers at the divisional level, including the District Secretary, the Divisional Secretary, and the heads of all the other institutions, based on the requirement of services, to expedite the implementation of the President's instructions and directives to address issues and problems raised by the people during the Gama Samaga Pilisandara programs. The farmer's identity card and the soil testing report are essential to obtain the free fertilizer subsidy for the next Yala season. Minister Mahindananda Alutkamage says that this measure has been implemented for the first time in Sri Lanka. The relevant equipment has been provided to the Agrarian Services Centres. The inaugural program commenced in the Kandy district. 81,000 metric tons of fertilizer have been imported in the year 2019. The minister said that it has been revealed that 55 lab reports have been altered while importing fertilizer. The minister also said that the previous government imported poisons instead of fertilizer. Many farmers used to add more fertilizer to the crops because of the provision of the free fertilizer subsidy. In Australia, farmers use 50 kilograms of fertilizer per hectare, but in Sri Lanka, farmers use 300 kilograms of fertilizer per hectare. The registration of new political parties will commence from the 28th of this month. Calling for interviews and checking the applications sent by the applicant to register new parties will be considered from that day onwards. The Election Commission has made this decision after holding a meeting recently. Updating the 2020 electoral register list will also be completed during the given time. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
Digital accounts can now be opened in 10 minutes. People's Bank Digital Banking, your ultimate convenience.
The mayor of Jaffna, V. Manivanan, who was arrested for deploying 5 Jaffna Municipal Council workers wearing uniforms similar to that of the LTT police, has been granted bail by the Jaffna Magistrates Court. The mayor of Jaffna, V. Manivanan, was arrested under the Prevention of Terrorism Act after he had deployed a new unit clad in uniform similar to the one worn by the LTT police unit during the war. Police spokesman Deputy Inspector General Ajit Rohana said that 5 individuals wearing uniforms similar to that worn by the LTTE police unit had been deployed for the Jaffna Municipal Council work. The Jaffna Police and the TID initiated investigations on the instructions of the Minister of Public Security, Rear Admiral Dr. Sarath Veerasekara. The statements of the Municipal Commissioner and others attached to the Municipal Council had also been recorded. Accordingly, the police spokesman said it had been revealed that the mayor of Jaffna is the one who had granted permission to recruit these 5 persons, and the Jaffna mayor himself had issued the uniforms. The Gazette notification to ban the cutting of coconut trees will be released within the next 2 weeks. Secretary to the Ministry of Plantation Industries, Ravindra Hevavitarana, said that the reason behind the increase of coconut prices is the cutting of coconut trees without any control. He said that the government will focus more attention regarding the felling of coconut trees in the future. That concludes local news.
Debit card, mobile and internet banking along with cardless cash facilities can now be opened in just 10 minutes with no form filling with People's Bank Digital Banking.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Several programs were organised yesterday in connection with the 42nd anniversary of the Rajarata service of the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Accordingly, 16 artists introduced by the Rajarata service were also felicitated. Ministers S.M. Chandrasena, K.L. Rambukwella and Secretary to the Ministry of Mass Media, Jagat P. Vijayvira, and the Director General of the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation, Chandrapala Liyanage, also attended the ceremony. Construction of the new performance theatre of the Rajarata service, which will be built under the Sri Lanka-France Friendship Cooperation project, was launched last morning. Speaking on the occasion, Minister K.L. Rambukwella said that the theatre will be a special place for Rajarata. The Director General of the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation said that the aim of the government is to maintain further the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation, which will complete 100 years in 4 years' time, by further nurturing people's knowledge.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Moving on to Watchlight, the railway authorities request the commuters to refrain from using both sides of the platform to enter and exit railway stations, endangering their lives. They request the passengers to use the overhead staircases to enter and exit the railway stations safely. This is for the attention of train commuters.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of
the best discount in this Urdu season, People's Leasing Polybasi. Enjoy an interest rebate of 25% from People's Leasing for all the leasing facilities during this Urdu season. Call 011 206 300 for more details. Conditions apply.
People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
In world news headlines, the UN Atomic Watchdog reports new Iranian breach of nuclear deal. Tributes after Prince Philip, the Duke of Edinburgh, dies aged 99. Dmx American rapper and actor dies aged 50. The UN Atomic Watchdog on Friday flagged a new breach by Iran of its nuclear deal with major powers on the day those powers met to revive the agreement. A report by the agency seen by Reuters showed likely raising tensions with Western powers. The International Atomic Energy Agency avoids saying Iran had breached the deal. At the same time, it generally only issues such ad hoc reports to member states in the event of a breach. Two diplomats told Reuters what the report described amounted to a fresh breach. The breach has to do with what counts officially towards Iran's stockpile of enriched uranium, a highly sensitive issue since the stockpile could be enriched further to weapons-grade material suitable for nuclear bombs if Iran chooses to do so. It denies seeking such weapons and says its aims are entirely peaceful. Political leaders, members of the public and well-wishers from around the world have paid tribute to Prince Philip, Queen Elizabeth II's husband, after his death at the age of 99. A statement issued by Buckingham Palace just after midday spoke of the Queen's deep sorrow following his death at Windsor Castle yesterday morning. He was the longest-serving royal consort in British history. Prince Charles said his father's life was an astonishing achievement. Reflecting on Prince Philip's life for a BBC programme, which was filmed before the Duke died, Prince Charles said his energy was astonishing in supporting my mama and doing it for such a long time and in some extraordinary way, being able to be going on doing it for so long. US rapper and actor Dmx has died at the age of 50, 5 days after suffering a heart attack. The performer, whose real name was Earl Simmons, had been placed on life support and died with his family by his side. In a statement, his family said he was a warrior who fought till the very end. Earl's music inspired countless fans across the world, and his iconic legacy will live on forever, they said. Back to the headlines of the world news. The UN Atomic Watchdog reports new Iranian breach of nuclear deal. Tributes after the Duke of Edinburgh dies aged 99. And Dmx American rapper and actor dies aged 50. That concludes this bulletin of world news.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of
The best discount in this Urdu season, People's Leasing Polybasi. Enjoy an interest rebate of 25% from People's Leasing for all the leasing facilities during this Urdu season. Call 011-206-300 for more details. Conditions apply.
People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
Development News is brought to you by CIB New Year offer. Valuable gift vouchers for every bill payment during 1st to 10th April. 20% discount for bank card holders. Our place, our product. CIB.
Plantation companies have taken steps to pay workers a daily wage of 1,000 rupees approved by the Wage Management Board. The basic daily salary of 900 rupees and an allowance of 100 rupees amounting to 1,000 rupees has been paid to the workers. Earlier, estate workers were paid a daily wage of 750 rupees by the plantation companies. In the last budget, Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa proposed that the daily wage of a plantation worker be increased to 1,000 rupees.
Development News was brought to you by CIB New Year offer. Valuable gift vouchers for every bill payment during 1st to 10th April. 20% discount for bank card holders. Our place, our product. CIB.
On to sports news. AB de Villiers rolled back the years with his beautiful yet brutal assault as the Royal Challengers Bangalore pipped defending champions Mumbai Indians by 2 wickets in a last ball thriller in the Indian Premier League opener at the M.A. Chidambaram Stadium on Friday. De Villiers smashed 48 off 27 balls after RCB were down in the dumps at 106 for 5. Harshal Patel capped off his dream day by scraping a single off the final delivery to reach the target of 160 in 20 overs. Haryana's Harshal, an eternal peripheral presence in the IPL, finally had his night under the lights with 5 for 27, which helped Royal Challengers Bangalore restrict Mumbai Indians to 159 for 9. That's sports news. Business news up next.
Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply. Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money.
A discussion was held at the Ministry of Industries in Kollupitiya recently under the patronage of the Minister of Industries Vimal Veeravansa to take further steps with the assistance of the Government of China to implement 5 identified special projects to prepare the physical environment required for the development of the industrial sector in Sri Lanka. Consul General of the Chinese Embassy in Sri Lanka, Lee Guanjun, Third Secretary Dong Xiaokun and Zhu Min were also present at the discussion.
Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money. Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply.
Economic News, courtesy of
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
Sri Lanka's Attorney General Dapula Dilivera has forwarded a marine environmental pollution claim of 3.4 billion rupees to the owners of MT New Diamond oil tanker that caught fire in Sri Lankan waters last September, an official said. The owners, Porto Emporius Shipping Incorporation, a shipping company based in Greece, paid 442 million rupees in October for expenses incurred by the Sri Lankan government in dousing the fire, but compensation for damages caused to the marine environment has yet to be paid.
I bought my daughter a laptop for her work by managing my finances. Whatever the expenses may be, I can't afford to miss out on life's special moments like her birthday or our anniversary. So you need to invest to make your family's future flourish.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibilities. That's why we promise to give you the best returns on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
Weather report was sponsored by
Dialogue, in partnership with the Ministry of Education, introduces Nanasir, a trilingual educational mobile app with video-based lessons for grade 1 to A-levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with no subscription fee.
Showers or thundershowers will occur at several places over most parts of the island in the evening or night. Fairly heavy falls, about 50 millimeters, can be expected at some places in the Uva, Sabaragamuwa, Central, Southern, Western and North Central provinces. On the apparent northward relative motion of the sun, it is going to be directly overhead the latitudes of Sri Lanka during the 5th to the 14th of April this year. The nearest places of Sri Lanka over which the sun is overhead today are Norachole, Karuvalagaswewa, Palugaswewa, Uswewa, Singhapura and Kumadia at about 12:11 noon.
Weather report was sponsored by
Dialogue, in partnership with the Ministry of Education, introduces Nanasir, a trilingual educational mobile app with video-based lessons for grade 1 to A-levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with no subscription fee.
And to conclude this bulletin of news, a recap of the headlines. A task force appointed to review the progress of the Gama Samagapilisandara programs. The farmer's identity card and soil testing report is essential to obtain free fertilizer subsidy in the future. The registration of new political parties will commence from the 28th of this month. The mayor of Jaffna granted bail. The Gazette notification to ban the cutting of coconut trees will be released within the next 2 weeks. Plantation companies have taken steps to pay workers a daily wage of 1,000 rupees approved by the Wage Management Board. And the UN Atomic Watchdog reports new Iranian breach of nuclear deal. That concludes this morning's news broadcast, and now it's back to your host,